Now, that's a long introduction to this lecture, but to me it feels very, very important to do that because, and I'll go into this in a moment, when we talk about parents and children, if we think of it from this different perspective, if we think of it in terms of my parents were chosen by me to help me develop in a certain way so that the rest of my life I am moving in a certain direction with certain attitudes, it shifts some of the pain of childhood. And it shifts some of the sense that we did not get what we needed. Because from a spiritual standpoint, that may be true, but it was also necessary. So Barbara Brennan wrote an article for what they do is they syndicate it throughout spiritual magazines. And she wrote beautifully and elegantly of a very simple example. If, for example, a baby's cries for attention are not immediately met, it may suffer a terrible sense of abandonment. That terror may be wired into this young mind and body and become part of its consciousness that never grows up. This undeveloped consciousness is what people often mean when they talk about their inner child, but it's not really an inner child. It's the remnants of consciousness of the child you were that have not grown up. It is your child consciousness that still believes and acts like a child. So unless the belief is addressed, the individual is likely to have issues around abandonment for the rest of its life. So where that fits in with this lecture is that when you choose parents and you see, for instance, that your mother is the mother you want is a good woman, but she tends, when she's nervous or upset, to withdraw, to turn inside. And that can look from another perspective like rejection, or like she doesn't want to give, when in truth she's simply self-caring. She's simply trying to hold a strong container about herself so that she can regenerate love, feelings of tenderness, or the energy that she needs to do what she needs to do. But these are adult psychological explanations. The truth is that a baby who is left alone for hours because the mother is not able to give it the nurturing that it wants and needs may independently make a decision in a part of its mind that is not fully conscious because the baby has no language. The baby may decide, I can't get what I need, and grow up thinking that it's not possible. But a different child, starting with a different task, might think, I need to try harder. I need to scream and shout. I need to be funny. I need to be more interesting. I need to be more so I can get what I need. Both babies may have felt that sense of not getting what they needed, but they would go in different directions even with the same parent, and that's why siblings can have the same parents and go off on multiple different directions that seem to make no sense, because the child itself, the spirit itself with the task, is actually in control of how it's going to interpret whatever comes at it. But the raw material, whether the mother over-mothers and smothers or walks away, or heaven help us all if the mother appears to be perfect at all times. Now, in my family, I had a lot on one side of my family. I had a lot of very strong, very upstanding, very moral people that looked perfect to me. And I actually remember thinking when I was about 12 years old, I'm in deep trouble because I don't fit. I'm not that good. Now, somebody else might approach that situation and say, hooray, I have a wonderful, nurturing, caring environment. Well, that's their attitude. Mine was that my doubts, my questions, my concerns, and my impulses had no place to go in that family. So perhaps you can see where whatever a family is going to resonate in different ways depending on which direction you're coming from and the interpretations you make.